So, this game is unbelievable. Uh, I really didn't think Bama had a chance, and they made me shut my mouth. And I have no problem. Look, I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong. I'm not an Oklahoma fan. I'm a Texas fan. I don't give a damn. Like I'm so happy I was wrong. I want to be wrong. I'm a Texas fan. I want to see OU lose. I didn't have. I mean, that was no fun for me. Well, I won't say no fun, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I do like to see domination. I will say that. Uh, but it wasn't fun for me to sit there and say Bama's gonna lose a game. I wanted Bama to win. I didn't think it was possible. I overrated Brent V as a defensive play caller. I overrated his ability because what he's showing at Clemson is Joe Burrow and 20 LSU, Justin Fields in Ohio State in the college football playoffs showed it again today in big moments. His defense have shown that they're going to let up big points, and that's exactly what they did. I put 24 points of on Oklahoma's defense tonight. The pick six was on Mateer and the block punt. I give them credit for not giving them a touchdown in that position. They held them to a field goal. That's a win. But the other 24 points is on Oklahoma's defense. That was flat out ridiculous. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't understand how you lose a game like this. It's up 17 to nothing. And you're playing with what's supposed to be, obviously Brent Venables is not an elite defensive mind. You just can't be elite when you don't show up in the big games, in my book. You can have your own book, but in my book, you can't be elite when you don't show up in big games. And I'm starting to see a trend going back to Clemson. And they did exactly what happened versus Texas. They busted coverages. They turned guys loose. In the second half, I mean, I was so unimpressed with Brent Venables in the second half. I mean, for Oklahoma to have the longest run since week two versus ULM versus OU's defense after Kirby just held this OU offense to 7 points. I have to give credit to Kirby. He's obviously one of the best defensive minds in the sport because when you look at what Kirby just did his Bama offense 2 weeks ago, and what Kirby gave up 7 points to his offense versus the Bama's offense. Brent Venables gave up 24. So like, there's levels to this stuff. Like, obviously Brent V isn't on Kirby's level. So like, I overrated that. I thought he was. I thought he had the better secondary. I thought he had, and I'm gonna be honest, he probably does have he probably has the better secondary. He probably does have the better D line. At least but like, either way, if it's better, he has a talent that matches what Georgia has, if not better. And you see the result isn't the same because what OU did what happened with OU's defense versus Alabama's offense and what Georgia did is Alabama offense, two different things. Georgia dominated Alabama's offense for almost it felt like 7 quarters, but it was only 4 quarters. OU got dominated in the second half. It was disappointing. I mean, I'm just disappointed in Brent Venables. I don't think I know he needs to be on a higher seat in America. I don't think he's the guy for this job. I don't even think he's the best coach in this team. Actually, I would take Eric Morris over Brent Venables 10 times out of 10. I think Oklahoma State got a better coach. If you can't beat with the defense that OU has this year and the way that Bama's offense has been the last month and what they've been showing and putting on film, if you couldn't shut down this Bama offense and you couldn't beat this Bama team, when are you ever going to win a playoff game at Oklahoma? There couldn't have been, unless you played Tulane or JMU, Bama couldn't have got a better matchup. Alabama's offense was struggling. They just got dominated by Georgia. You have similar, if not better, personnel to Georgia. You're up 17-0 you're up 17-0. Bama didn't get their first. I think their first down to like 8 minutes left in the second quarter. I mean, it was just the first half of the first like quarter and a half or the first half. OU dominated from the get go. Like this should have been a run over, flat out. I thought that OU might get to 60, and I was obviously dead wrong because what was it, 34-7? After they went up 17-0, you get outscored 34-7, 24 unanswered. Like I don't know what else to say, but Oklahoma, I just don't, unless you play at JMU or Tulane, I don't see how Oklahoma ever wins a playoff game as a Power 5 opponent. Maybe they play Tech, and even I still, with the way they played, I'm not even sure Oklahoma would beat Tech. This was a colossal failure by Brent Venables. You just can't get any better of what he got to start the game and the defense he had. I mean, you can get better, but it's just like this was the year for them. I mean, not the year, but this was the time for them to go win a playoff game. and he couldn't do it. So when is he ever? With the circumstances he had going into this game, if he can't do it, when is he ever going to beat a powerful opponent? When he plays a Big 12 team that he can over or just overmatch with talent and size. Like you played a team that matched you in talent and size, and look what the result was. You know, like I just wasn't impressed, and I overrated his defensive acumen. I don't think Rivers is a elite defensive mind. I don't want to hear it. Uh, and in the big moments, his defense doesn't show. They don't dominate like they should. Oklahoma. I mean, if they're Georgia went and dominated Alabama, Oklahoma didn't, and so it's it just shows you what kind of coach Brent V is, and I think he needs to be on the hottest seat in America. I don't see why he shouldn't be. You can make the argument that he beat up on a bunch of bad teams, and I mean let's be real. I mean they beat Missouri, yes. They beat some teams, South Carolina, but this reminds me a lot of A&M. Who do they really beat? They beat Michigan, but Michigan is not impressive. And they're a one-dimensional football team. And there was a second game where the true freshman quarterback. Uh, and it's like, I mean, you beat LSU, but I mean, Mateer threw three picks. It took you to the very last second. They almost blew the LSU game. Texas should have been in over Oklahoma. And this is why you put in teams based on resume and strength of schedule and all the metrics that the committee has on their website, and not because of who has the least amount of losses. That's why you do that. Because Texas is better than Oklahoma. I don't see how you can watch this game and think Texas wasn't better than Oklahoma. But it is what it is. But this is pathetic by Oklahoma. It's pathetic by Brent Venables, and I think he's going to hot seat in America. And you can merely make the argument he beat him on a bunch of bad teams this year. We'll see if he gets away with it next year. But we saw when he plays, he played Texas, he lost. He played Kiffin and Ole Miss, he lost. He plays DeBoer when DeBoer is down bad and he's got dominated by Georgia, and you have the same, if not similar, personnel to Georgia, and he lost. And so when you play some real teams with a pulse, I'm starting to see a trend. You beat Tennessee, but I mean, who did Tennessee even beat this year? I mean, Tennessee was 8-4. I mean, they got blown up by Vandy at home. Tennessee. I mean, how impressive the win really was that. I just don't know who they really beat. And really could consider. And the one win you had was Alabama, and that one kind of gets erased now because when it mattered most, we saw who the better team was. Disappointed now for Oklahoma, and like I said, I think Eric Morris is definitely the best coach in the state of Oklahoma, and I'm taking him 10 times, 10 out of 10 times over Brent Venables. Um, so uh, Oklahoma whiffed on that hire. I think Brent Venables is. I think he might be a little Will Muschampy. Now I don't know how Will Muschamp's defense does in big games, but I will say he may be Will Muschamp, whereas like he may just be a elite defensive coordinator, but he might not just be a elite head coach. And sometimes, not sometimes, every time you're gonna have to live with that. I don't know. Like you're gonna have to live with that. Hey, I'm just an elite defensive coordinator, but I'm not an elite head coach. I just not who I am. And that's who Brent V may be. That's maybe the role he's best suited in. But this is really disappointing for Oklahoma. And yeah, and now on the Bama side, look, Bama. Now, I know y'all are gonna be in my mentions and all that stuff, and like I said, I'm a Texas fan, so it doesn't really bother me. I don't, this is one of them picks. Uh, I mean, I want it to be wrong. I can say that now. I want it to be wrong. Um, but I'll say this. First of all, y'all all like, what's crazy about y'all, bro? This ain't got nothing to do with football. Y'all all run my mentions after the game is over. Nowhere to be found before the game. Nowhere to be found. Like, it's crazy how y'all operate. It's like I'll come out and make a prediction before the game and stand on what I had to say. Then y'all come after the game. After the game's already decided. Like anybody that really gonna talk trash, you gotta talk trash when the score is 0-0. Like if you run in my mentions when the game if you're nowhere to be found before the game and then come talk trash after, I don't want to hear. Like I don't really care what you have to say. I'll put it like this: any real man talks trash when the score is 0-0, and that's where I'm at with it, and that's anything in life. So if you're a real man, like talk trash to me in my comments when the game hasn't happened yet. Don't wait till after the game to come running my comments and where was you blah 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 because that's what cowards do. Cowards wait till after the game to say something. Real men wait till before the game to say something. So if you remember I mentioned after the game, I'll be real. I don't really care what you gotta say because all you showing me is I'm a coward, And like, that's what you showed me. I'm a coward, and I don't have the balls to do it before the game. I'm not a real man. I think Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant had the quote about like, hey, real men don't wait till they win, and they wait till the scores. They talk trash when the score 0-0. They don't wait till they're up to talk trash. So that's kind of where I'm at with the trash talk. You want me to really like if you really want me to actually care about what you have to say, then say it before the game because cowards show up after the game. Now that's a lot of Bama fans are their front runners because when I predict Bama to lose next week to Indiana and get blown out, and y'all do, oh, the same niggas that's in my comments won't be in my comments or not, whenever it happens, January 1st. Whenever that game happens, January 1st, January 2nd, whenever Bama gets blown out and loses in the Rose Bowl, y'all won't be nowhere to be found in my comments. But before the game, or probably after, or definitely not after, because y'all are cowards. But then y'all are coming now, So that's where I'm at with it. Really don't give a damn. Kind of learned my lesson about how y'all famous really are. Not a lot of real men out there, but it is what it is. Like I said, talk trash for the game. Don't wait till after, like a coward. But when it comes to Alabama, I'm not impressed. A lot of coaching decisions in this game that didn't impress me at all. Uh, I don't see Indiana. I don't see Indiana game really being close. I feel pretty confident Indiana's going to win the game and probably in blowout flash fashion. Um, you gave up 24 points to John, and really, honestly, you should have gave up 27. It was a 36-yard field goal. So you really gave up 24, what should have been 27 points to John Mateer in Oklahoma. That's pathetic defensively. Go look what Oklahoma's done. Offense has done the whole season. That's pathetic. If you give up 27 points to John Mateer, what the hell do you think you're gonna do versus Fernando Mendoza and Kurt Signetti, and his coaching staff? Not impressed. I think Indiana's gonna blow it. I don't think I know. And then on top of that, were your Bama fans? If you think Bama's gonna win, you think Bama's gonna beat Indiana after giving up 27 points 24 points and what should have been 27 points to John Mateer, and you think they're gonna beat Indiana being a one-dimensional football team because that's what you're saying. Because that's what Bama is. They don't have a run game, and I don't see them having a run game versus Indiana. Now they hit the big run, but Indiana for the whole part of the whole game, Bama didn't have a consistent run game, and so you're gonna beat Indiana without being a one-dimensional football team. Because that's who you've been all season. You've been a one-dimensional football team. You haven't had a consistent run game, and you're going to beat Indiana after giving up 24 points and what should have been 27 to John Mateer, like on defense. So it's like I just don't see it. It's going to be another game. Bama's going to prove me wrong. That's going to catch up to you at some point. I congratulate them on beating Oklahoma, but Oklahoma, they only got in because their record. I'm not saying only got they should, but I would have taken Texas and Notre Dame over Oklahoma in the playoffs. I mean, I can tell you right now, Texas beat Oklahoma. They should have been over them. So it's like I give y'all credit, but it's just like Oklahoma. They kind of are who they are. Brent Venables is who he is. Like if Canada Boy really wants to impress me or really want to show the country that he's something, go beat Kirk Cincinnati. And I'll come out here and be like, the boy, you're legit. If he beats Kurt Signetti, you're legit. But I just don't see it. I think Bama's going to get run off the field versus Indiana. I don't think the game is going to be close. I got Indiana in a beat down. Like I said, and for the reasons I listed. So they're not impressed by Alabama. Give them credit for winning, but like beating Brent V. I mean, come on. I mean, I ain't really like nothing. I mean, as I nothing that's like, oh my gosh, Brent V was fighting for his damn job bowl. And I give him credit for doing what he did versus Brent V's defense, but like I said, I give him credit for that. I will give him credit for tearing up the Brent V defense because I did hype it up. I looked at it in a high level, and now I have to look at a different light. I give the boy credit for that. He's shown me that Oklahoma and that kind of stuff, but like I said, the Oklahoma team, they might be A&M. I think they just got away with playing some competition that they were obviously better than. So, is what it is. I give Bama credit, but I'm not impressed. Come in my comments, rip me apart, say what you got to say. We'll talk. Kind of where I'm at with it, and I can't wait to see y'all get run over by Indiana.